Welcome to Community Mediation Services Division Virtual Parent Support Group Workshop. Today's topic is the solution-focused mindset. Community mediation is about helping persons come up with a solution to their conflicts. We have parent support group workshops throughout Trinidad. You can contact us at 225-4267 for further information. Remember, talk it out, not fight it out is our logo. So you can like our Facebook page and share with parents who may be in similar challenges to you. Welcome, and I now turn over to Fidel Sanatan.
Good day, and welcome to the Community Mediation Services Division Parental Support Group 2020, where we are virtual for this year. My name is Fidel Sanatan, Manager and Team Lead Social Work in the division, and today we're dealing with the solution-focused mindset. The topics that we'll be covering today are defining the solution-focused mindset, the steps to developing the solution-focused mindset, applying the solution-focused mindset to your life. Let's begin with defining the solution-focused mindset. The solution-focused approach is a way of thinking and acting that focuses on the future and goals. It differs from problem-oriented thinking, which concentrates on the problem or why it emerged. Being a solution-focused person instills the behavior of quickly and effectively solving problems as they arise and makes you more effective at taking advantage of opportunities for transformation. In other words, you can take better control of your own destiny by focusing your energy on solutions. And I want us to start with that, focusing your energy on solutions. Often in our culture, the thing that we focus on is the problem, and we focus on blaming. And blaming is very good for those persons who are blameless in that particular situation, but it's not productive. I think sometimes people enjoy playing jab malassi outside a carnival. They put on their little pitchfork and they stick out and they jab in. You see, you are the problem, you are the problem, you are the problem. And not assisting with the solution. Changing our mindset is what is absolutely necessary to help us solve problems that exist not only for ourselves, but with other persons in our lives as well. So what we're looking at now are the steps to developing the solution-focused mindset. Step 1, identify your attitude towards problems. Step 2, acknowledge your feelings. Step 3, examine past solutions. Step 4, use your creativity to find a solution. And then step 5, get support. We begin with step 1. Identify your attitude towards problem. And attitude means so much in terms of our approach and how we are going to think about overcoming challenges that face us in our life. When faced with problems or challenges, we can sometimes fall into set patterns of behavior we developed in childhood. And those patterns can be based on hurt and pain and disappointment. Often, those negative experiences that we have in childhood take effect in our adult lives and create a situation that is not positive when it is that we face challenges by ourselves and when we work with other persons in groups, meaning our family, the workplace, or recreational groups. Some common examples of attitudes towards problems that you may see inside of those groups are as follows. The first that we commonly see or observe is the victim. And the victim usually asks themselves, why does this always happen to me? Or this situation is so unfair. Persons who are victims in terms of their attitude towards challenges are those persons who experience a lot of disappointment in their childhood. And they experienced it to a degree where they believe that there will always be disappointment. They have a cynical view of what they can achieve and how to go about overcoming adversity. These persons deep down are usually optimists who have faced a lot of adversity, and it takes a lot of energy to work with them to move towards that positive solution focused mindset. A second commonly found attitude towards problems is the deflector. People who asking, why is everyone around me so stupid or dotish? If only this person did that, I wouldn't be here now. If this person had done something to fix it this way, I wouldn't be here now. The deflector is usually someone who grew up in an environment that was very unforgiving of mistakes, and therefore they have learned to judge themselves as well as others very harshly when facing adversity. Too often for this person, confronting adversity takes them to a place where they are being judged by persons in authority in their lives, and therefore they judge others and deflect the blame because they cannot withstand that scrutiny that they faced in the past. Another commonly found attitude towards problems is that of the rejected person. This person experienced a childhood where they got a lot of negative reinforcement, and worse yet, they began to believe those negative voices. They have believed that the voice telling them, I am not good enough, I am not worthy enough, I am not talented enough to overcome these challenges is true. That particular attitude and mindset leads persons to a state of depression when they face adversity and challenges. These persons are usually in need of a lot of care, and the hope is always in them but needs to be nurtured so they can develop. Another commonly found attitude towards problems, and we are entering into the realm of persons who have more aggressive attitudes, are first the uncompromising person. That uncompromising person, sometimes we encounter them in lines when it is that we are in a fast food outlet. They want what they want now. They're not going to take any substitutes. They're ready to argue with any customer service representative because they find the service not good, even though the thing that they're asking for might not be on the menu or the restaurant might be out of it. That bit of difficulty that they have drives them into a tantrum. This person has a challenge where they are not emotionally mature enough to be flexible and seek a solution which was outside of what they originally expected. They have a history, usually, of getting their way when they throw tantrums. As a child, they would have thrown a tantrum, went and stamped on the floor, flip over objects, and would have had caregivers who reinforce this negative behavior with attention. That is the lesson they would have learned and carried into adulthood. Reflection on their behavior is a key step that persons with this attitude need to have before they move forward towards the solution-focused mindset. The next aggressive attitude towards problems that we often see is the indignant person. The indignant person usually comes off or appears to be angry. How dare this person do that to me? I will show them. You will not see the authentic me up inside this place. Or you don't know me, you know. Or you don't know how I could behave. I will do for you. These kinds of statements and these kinds of behaviors and aggressiveness that come off with people are when individuals face challenges and it takes them to a place of pain. Anger is a surface emotion. Below anger is pain, hurt, disappointment, and unfulfilled expectations. Emotional intelligence is the key ingredient for this person to transform that particular attitude that they have. They need to be able to step past the anger and see what other emotions are there below it. And in so doing, they can shift towards having that solution-focused mindset. I want everyone to take a minute and look at these common attitudes towards problems: the victim, the deflector, the rejected, the uncompromising, and the indignant. Ask yourself, which one do I usually display? Do I know somebody who behaves this way? Take that minute. Step 2, acknowledging your feelings. We begin with the fact that facing problems can evoke negative emotions about our past and anxieties about our future. We must give ourselves a period of time to reflect on our feelings and understand where they come from. As we said in the previous slide, our childhood experiences have an impact on the attitudes we adopt as adults. And thirdly, we must make the decision to move forward. Progress is a natural state of all of our lives. Moving forward means that we have to look back at the past, understand it, put it in its place, take the strength that we can from it, and transform what we can in the present so we could get to the destination we are seeking out in the future. We move on to step 3, which is examining past solutions. We begin with reflect on the challenges you have overcome in your life. To the best of my knowledge, everyone tuning in to us right now is an adult. And to be an adult means that you would have had at least 18 years of life experience where you would have faced challenges and overcome challenges. Those challenges could have been exams, those challenges could have been loss. Some persons may have gotten married, and some persons may have won the lottery, and the challenge they're facing is how to spend all that money. What I want each person to do right now is to write down what you did to successfully overcome those challenges in your past. Think about the lessons you learned about life and yourself by overcoming those challenges, and examine what can be applied from your past solutions to your current situation. And I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, Fidel, life was simple when we was young. Life was easy. I wish I could go back to being a child. And part of that might be true, but let's re-examine that. As a child, what would have happened is that you had a simple equation. Mommy and daddy, or whoever the caregivers were, would feed us. That was it. You cry or you ask for food, whatever it is, and you would get. But over time, by going to school and by learning in general, you found out that the food you were being fed was determined by the geography of your country, how much money your parents had, the state of the economy at large, the import and export that your country was able to do, as well as what the crop yields were at that point in time in your country and around the world. And also, it would have been impacted by the religion or festivals that may have been coming up. The reason why I bring that up is simply to state that our lives were always complex. And what has happened is that over time, we have become aware of the complexity and challenging nature of our life as human beings. But the wonderful part of it is that our capacity to deal with challenges grows alongside our awareness of those challenges and adversities that exist as part of the human experience. We move on to step 4, using your creativity to find a solution. We'll begin with decluttering your mind. And in a previous session, you would have heard about mindfulness. Declutter your mind. Solutions need space to live and to grow. Another step you could take is to think of the problem as an opportunity to be examined from different positions. Being in trouble may not necessarily be something to be afraid of. My grandmother would tell me that don't be afraid of trouble. Trouble helps you prioritize your life, and it tells you who your real friends are. What can you learn from the challenges that you're facing in terms of what your priorities are and what resources you have? Another step would be to use meditation to encourage creative thinking about solutions. Take a breath. Focus on the problem or the challenge that you have for a period of time, then step back, step away, go for a walk. Think about where you want to be and what you want to achieve, and then return to the challenge with a refreshed mind and with an understanding that you're going to approach the challenge differently. The next step that we have may be the new word for the day for some people, which is to soliloquize. And to soliloquize really means to speak your thoughts aloud. In mediation, we have a stage we call reality testing. And part of reality testing is where you take the idea or solution that you have and you turn it over, you shake it out, you expose it to all kinds of levels of scrutiny to see how workable it is. And that is part of what you have to do when you use your creativity to find a solution. When you soliloquize, when you speak about the solution aloud, you hear yourself talking about the solution. You can hear aloud if it makes sense. And if you could explain it to yourself well, then you are more able to explain it to others. And the last step, or the last part of using your creativity to find a solution, is to make the commitment to take action. All of this is not a thought experiment in vain, which is nice to do. Action and that commitment to take that action is absolutely necessary as we move forward to help us overcome the challenges that we face. We move on now to step 5, which is get support. And we want everyone to understand that you do not have to seek out solutions alone, and that seeking support can be a necessary and beneficial thing to do for your solution. You deserve support, and seeking it is an investment in your well-being. Persons supporting you can be a key motivator when you are overcoming challenges. And I want to stick a pin on that because we often hear about peer pressure. A lot of people went to school and they heard about peer pressure in a negative way. But there's also positive peer pressure, where you join a group of persons with similar interests who can encourage you to achieve positive objectives. It could be a group of persons involved in Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, which allow persons to overcome the challenge they face with addiction. It could be an exercise group, where it is that you have a group of people who go out hiking. It could be a group of persons who are interested in learning new skills. It could even be a group of persons who share recipes or share pictures of food that they've created, which is part of what COVID life has taught us. Sharing in the past used to mean that you could send somebody the food. Now, sharing might mean you have to send somebody a picture. Getting the support does not mean that you're weak. It does not mean that you are less of a person. It means that you have admitted what your limitations are and you're brave enough to seek the assistance to help you surpass those limitations and overcome the challenges that you face. And also understand that support is not scarce. There are many government agencies as well as NGOs that are dedicated to providing support to persons in need. There are numbers to call and there are persons who care. A place to begin with is contacting us at the Community Mediation Services Division. We may not be able to provide solutions to all the challenges that you're facing, but we will always direct you towards persons who are most equipped to assist. We move on now to applying the solution-focused mindset to your life. And for those of you all who registered for our breakout room exercises, this is the part where we would be inviting you all to move into those breakout rooms so that you can do those exercises with the facilitators we have in there. And at this point in time, we will have 3 breakout rooms with 3 specific exercises to be covered. The first breakout room would have the exceptions to the problem questionnaire, and this particular exercise allows us to interrogate our past experiences and figure out how did we overcome them. Was there a time where we were able to overcome a circumstance we might be facing now, and how we did it and how we could apply it to our present situation. A second breakout room that we are going to have is where we're going to be doing the miracle exercise, where you reflect on what your miracle would look like. And in doing so, you get an understanding of not only what you want to achieve in terms of solution, but also what steps can be taken to achieve that particular process. And the last breakout room that we are going to have is the SMART plus goals exercise. And that is actually centered around a worksheet where you'll have the ability to interrogate a goal. It could be any goal that you have. It could be any challenge that you're facing, and you dig down deep into it and figure out how you could use the SMART method to achieve your goals and overcome that challenge. So right now, for those of you all who pre-registered, those breakout rooms are open, and we want to encourage you all to move over into those. And keep in mind that all of this is about developing the solution-focused mindset and applying it into your life. And for those of you who have not registered for the breakout rooms, don't be afraid. What we move on to next is our question and answer segment for this solution-focused mindset presentation. Thank you all for being here, giving us your time and attention. I look forward to hearing from you.